One of the interesting things about human consciousness is that it is primarily deletive as opposed to additive. And what I mean is our senses pick up 100% of the sensory data that they are capable of picking up. Our ears hear within a certain sound range, and they pick up all the sounds in those range. But we only hear 50%. We're only conscious of less than 50% of what we're actually hearing. So 50% is deleted through inattention. And our eyes are capable of seeing light and patterns of light in the full spectrum of light that it is capable of perceiving. But we only notice dramatically less than 50% of what our eyes see. The rest is deleted with inattention. Our thoughts are going constantly, and in our biology, 100% of our thoughts are registered and have impact, but we only pay attention to dramatically less than 50%. It's estimated we have 60,000 thoughts a day. And if you say, what are you thinking? It's hard to come up with more than 20. 60,000 and 20. So we're way less than 50%. And again, which of those 60,000 thoughts elevate into that 20, or if we're working at it, like what are you thinking? And which are deleted through inattention. And in this way, what we call reality is what's left over after we've deleted most of it through our inattention to both our senses, our imagination, our memory. Again, biologically, 100% of our memories are registered, and this can be verified by the fact that hypnosis is capable of accessing things like license plates of a car that you saw on the highway 2 days ago. But if you asked yourself, do I remember that? The answer would be no. But under hypnosis, or while a probe is in the brain stimulating a certain region of the brain, you access the memory. And so we remember everything, but our reality is shaped, or we register everything, we file everything, but our reality is shaped by what we remember, and the vast majority of our memories are deleted. And so we have this, we have a reality that is the equivalent of being broadcast a full spectrum light signal from all sides, 24/7, on all dimensions. And then we delete this because we don't believe it can happen. We delete this because we weren't paying attention. And we delete this because it doesn't fit the theme that we're building. And then we delete this because it doesn't fit the theme that we're building either. And then we delete this other thing, and we delete this other thing. Then we exaggerate this because it does fit the belief and the theme that we're building, and we exaggerate this thing over here. So we delete and we exaggerate. And what we have as a version, a symbolic or metaphorical or heuristic version of reality, is the crumbs that remain after we've deleted most of it. And then, having deleted most of it and created a few crumbs, now we get into the terrain of human creativity, because one could say that full spectrum light that's all around us is not generated by the human ego. It is part of a larger reality of which we are a small part. But the reality that we create by deleting most of that is what we create, because we create by deleting. If you take a full spectrum light and you delete the blue, you get this color. And if you delete all this, and if you add this and this, you get this color. And so what we do is we delete maybe 95% of all reality. And what's left is our reality, the bits that we build our reality out of. And then what we do is we combine, and so here's where, so the first part of human creativity or reality creation is primarily deletive. You know, we're just cutting this spectrum out, denying that, forgetting that, arguing with that, ignoring that, etc. And we have this little thing left over. Once we create those little things by ignoring most of reality, we then turn around and combine. And see, this is the interesting thing. This is where human consciousness becomes generative. Because we have created a number of unique objects by deleting most of reality and holding what remains. And they're different. They're not the original object because we've deleted the blue out of this one, we've cut this one in half, we've cut this one in quarters and folded it like this. And after all that, there's just this little thing that's left over. But then we combine these little things. We combine this thought and this belief and this cult norm and this language. You know, you have all sound and you delete most of it, and what you have left is a sculpture or a skeleton of sound called language, where most of it's deleted. All those octaves and tones just vanish, and you have a skeleton of the total sound, carved out with silence and spaces. And then we say, this is our creation. We had a block of stone, we carved most of it away, and we create the idea of an angel. And the angel was there, of course, but so was the demon. It's all there in the block of stone. It's what remains after we have chipped most of it away. And so this is our creation. Now, as we combine our creations, this is where we create something truly new in the multiverse. Meaning, before we deleted most of reality to get this object, that object didn't exist. It existed in its entirety. Now it exists as a skeletal form, as a symbol almost, as a dumbed down version. But then we combine this dumbed down version and this dumbed down version, this skeleton and this skeleton of this and this and this, and now we create something completely new that didn't exist before we cut most of reality away and combined those skeletons in a very unique format to create something that had never existed before. Because to a certain extent, or as far as we know, it is only the human ego that is capable of deleting and objectifying so much of what he is, and then playing around with what's left over.